Yeah, uh, the story today is Hangul, my life's architect and identity's muse. Specialized first, a destined encounter with Hangul. Second, the charm of Hangul. I'm Jae Jung, co-representative of Hangul Cultural Solidarity, a senior researcher at Center for East Asian History in Sungkyunkwan University. First, let me tell you about my relationship with Hangul. I debuted as a stand-up comedian at the age of 19. I thought I would become a star soon, but contrary to my expectation, it took almost 10 years for me to become famous. It was a hard time. This photo shows me on a magazine cover some 30 years ago. I looked handsome. Yeah. Do you agree? Yeah. And was very popular back then. I was a host working on both television and radio shows. As the host, I spoke a lot, and then I sometimes used the wrong words. I felt ashamed whenever I made mistakes. For example, look at the Korean words below. There are three words: 곤호, 고역, 곤요. I'm sure that you can read these simple Korean words. But the words look so similar in shape and confusing in their meanings. People might wonder, how different are they? How can I pick the correct one among those? Which one is appropriate? To explain briefly, 곤혹 means embarrassment. 고역 means toil. 곤욕 means insult. Next one is about pronunciation. Sometimes a friend of mine calls me and asks me to go to eat 동미에. In Korean, 게 먹으러 가자. Of course, I know he asked me to go to eat a crab, not the 동미에. But he mispronounced the word 게 sounding like 게. If you pronounce 게, it means a dog. Crab should sound like 게. Just as there is correct pronunciation for English words, the same principle goes for Korean. The problem is that many Koreans don't care. But as a host, I felt that it was really important to pronounce Korean words correctly. I felt a need to study from the mistakes I made. I started studying the Korean language seriously in my early 30s. Yeah, I think it's too late. Yeah, anyway, I try to read as many books as possible. Here are two books that impressed me the most. On the right, correct ways of writing Korean. On the left, the fundamental meaning of respect for our language. While reading many books, I discovered something really important. One day, I had this notion that your mother tongue is just like your mother. I'm sure that you can choose many things throughout your life, but you cannot choose your own mother by yourself. So I thought my native language was a fate and a gift, just like my mother. At the same time, I learned that Hangul was really amazing and wonderful. Wow, this is really nice. Yeah. However, in 1997, a call to use English as one of the official languages in Korea emerged. I agreed with the needs of learning English, but I thought we should never change our native language. So I started a social campaign with my colleagues to preserve and develop our Korean language. Generally, when different cultures meet, their languages interact with each other and get mixed up. For example, there are practically lots of English words used in the Korean language, such as radio, television, computer, copy, etc. Similarly, some Korean words are used in English. Kimbap, kimchi, mukbang. There are photos of kimbap and mukbang. Yeah, I got this from online. Yeah, and I'm sure that kimbap is really yummy. Yeah, have you ever eaten kimbap? Yeah, of course, Korean like kimbap. Yeah, but I think mukbang is kind of crazy. Yeah. But the problem is that Koreans tend to overuse English words even when they are not necessary. Here I have a few examples. Long ago, it was said that 수요가 많다. There is a lot of needs. Now, many Koreans say needs가 많다. I think we don't need to use needs because we already have our own specific word 수요 for needs. One more example. 그는 멘탈이 강하다. Meaning he is mentally strong. I really don't understand why they used mental. They should have said that 그는 정신력이 강하다. Please take a look at this picture. 물은 self. 물은 self means help yourself with water. In fact, most of us are familiar with the word self because it can be seen everywhere in Korea. Nevertheless, I recommend 물은 스스로. I think that this is a proper and correct way of using the Korean language as a Korean person. So, what is the Hangul cultural solidarity? I'd like to introduce some of my ideas to you. Let's love the Korean language first. Let's use our language correctly. Let's use easy Korean for general communication. Why? It's because just as social disadvantages exist, linguistic disadvantages also exist. In my point of view, some Korean terms could render lay people confused. As I said earlier, I started a Hangul campaign. In addition, I felt a need to study about Hangul, although I was already 39 years old and had a job. In the end, I decided to go to school. It was like one of the craziest decisions I've ever made in my life. But I was really serious about it and entered Sungkyunkwan University. During my school days, I just focused on studying. I can say that I had studied extremely hard. For instance, I had no summer vacation, no winter vacations, no meeting friends when I was studying during my undergraduate days. I just kept running to achieve my dream. To summarize, 3 years for the bachelor's degree, 4 years for the master's degree, 6 years for the doctoral degree. I spent 13 years studying at Songyungwan University and finally earned my PhD at 52. A photo below was taken on graduation day. Yeah, the guy in the center, yeah, is me. And then this is kind of traditional ceremony on graduation day. Yeah, I wore some traditional costume. Since that year, I had taught Korean history at my alma mater for 10 years. But now, I'm working as a writer, a Hangul activist, and a freelance lecturer while studying my favorite subjects, such as Korean language history, English, Japanese, and so on. Below are photos of a lecture outside and recently published books. From now on, I will briefly talk about the charms of Hangul. I think the letters are the foundation and symbol of civilization. From the left, the Rosetta Stone, the Oracle bone script, and the Phoenician alphabet. These are pieces of evidence that show the ancient Egyptians, Chinese, and Phoenicians invented and used letters. In my opinion, writing is one of human instincts. But unfortunately, we Koreans didn't have our own letters in ancient times. So we had no choice but to borrow the Chinese characters in order to transcribe the Korean language. However, the Chinese characters were not a good match for the Korean language, and they were too difficult and too many to learn. A Chinese dictionary published in 1716 contained approximately 47,000 characters. Therefore, Koreans had experienced many difficulties with using Chinese characters. Surprisingly, a miracle occurred in the 15th century. King Sejong invented the Korean alphabet Hangul. In short, the greatest value of Hangul is that it is the only writing system in the world which was created for commoners. I'm certain that the other characters had been used by only the ruling class for a long time, until modern times. I'm sure that King Sejong had a special strategies for creating letters, and the details are, I think, as follows. Hangul is the alphabet for ordinary people. Therefore, it should be easy to learn and use. To achieve this goal, the number of letters should not be too large, and the shapes of the letters should also be simple. As a result, Hangul was created with only 28 consonants and vowels, and had straight lines, points, and circles in shape. It's easy to learn and to write. On the left, 7 consonants. On the right, 11 vowels, 28 in total. However, foreigners who see Hangul for the very first time get quite confused. The following is a passage from 윤동주's poem. 죽는 날까지 하늘을 우러러 한 점 부끄럼이 없기를. 잎새에 이는 바람에도 나는 괴로워했다. Most people might ask the following questions. Each Hangul letter has a different shape. How many letters are there in Hangul? Is it possible to learn? However, these questions can be easily solved. As you all know, Hangul is written by combining consonants and vowels to make syllables. Niun plus a equal na, meaning I. Shiot plus o equal so, meaning cow. Circle plus yo plus ing equal yong, meaning dragon. Some people say it's like playing a Lego game. Now, let me tell you about what kind of letters Hangul is. It's a phonetic alphabet. It has 40 letters in total, including the 24 basic letters and the 16 character extensions. The 40 letters are combined to make a total of 11,172 characters. So Hangul can transcribe a variety of sounds. Can I tell you something interesting? Yeah, you may not have noticed, but one Korean English scholar says English is the language with the most confusing spelling because one letter, various pronunciations. Alphabet A, father, man, ace, audio, same pronunciation, a different spelling. Yeah, the sound is U, but spelling are different. Flew, to, blew, through. A spell but no sound. That, bomb. Not spelled, but there is sound. Cutie. Same spelling, a different sound. Lead, led. However, Hangul is one letter, one sound. Digut is always sounded d, such as 더, 달, 두부, taekwondo. And I don't mean to belittle Japanese kana, but most of Japanese people pronounce McDonald's as Maku Donarudo. It's far from McDonald. In my humble opinion, Japanese people are trapped in kana, so they have limitations in transcribing sounds. On the other hand, Koreans say McDonald, and it's not that far from McDonald's thanks to the ability of Hangul to make a sound quite well. With the promulgation of Hangul in 1446, common people began to learn and write letters. However, Hangul had been rejected by the ruling class for a long time. In my opinion, it began to be used in earnest since 1945. In 1945, Korea's illiteracy rate was about 78%. But with the dissemination of Hangul, the illiteracy rate plummeted to 4.1% in 1958. And from the 1960s to the 1980s, the Hangul generation, which entered various fields of society, became the center of economic development and the achievement of democracy. Now, let me wrap up the story. If you study Korean deeply, you will have an opportunity to read these scholars' books. Choi Hyun-bae, a Korean linguist respected by many Koreans, said this: all human creative activities take place through language. Therefore, I believe that everything Koreans have achieved was made possible through the use of the Korean language and Hangul. As I have said repeatedly from the beginning, Hangul was created for ordinary people, So it's really easy to learn. And people who were educated by Hangul have greatly improved Korea. I believe that one of the factors that enabled Korea's rapid growth is the use of a single language, Korean, and that Hangul played a crucial role in the spread of knowledge and information. In conclusion, I think these are the power, value, and charm of Hangul, which has dramatically changed Korean society from a developing country to a developed country within a period of 80 years. Yeah, now we are on the last page. Yeah, but before I finish my story, I'd like to share the poem with you. Yeah, this one is yeah 서시 written by Yoon Dong-ju. Yeah. May I ask some help to you? Yeah. I'd like someone to read this poem among English native speakers who I guess is learning Korean language. Is there anyone? I need a volunteer.
I can read it if you'd like.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
죽는 날까지 하늘을 우러러 한 점 구름이 없기를 잎새에 있는 바람에도 나는 괴로워세다. 별을 노래하는 마을으로 뭐든 좋고 가는 곳을 사랑해야지. 그리고 나한테 주어진 길을 걸어가야겠다. 오늘 밤에도 별이 바람에 쏘지운다.
Excellent. Wow. Yeah. Thank you for yeah your effort. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm so impressed. Yeah. With hearing. Yeah. You reading this poem that I like the most. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Uh, yeah. But I think there might be someone who don't understand the meaning of this poem. Yeah, I'd like to share the meaning of this poem. Yeah, it's translated in English. Yeah. Yeah. Jenna, yeah, would you read this one, please?
Wishing not to have so much as speck of shame toward heaven until the day I die. I suffered even when the wind stirred the leaves. With my heart saying to the stars, I shall love all things that are dying, and I must walk the road that has been given to me. Tonight again the stars are brushed by the wind.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure that you understand yeah, what this poem is telling. Yeah, but this one, before I said, is one of my favorite poems. But the line here from the beginning, wishing not to have so much as a speck of shame towards heaven until the day I die. This line has always scared me. Yeah, it's kind of yeah, scary. Yeah, but I'd like to follow. Yeah, the yeah, person who wrote this poem. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Now I'd like to finish my story. This is an English proverb that I like. There is no workman in the country. Please study Korean hard at King Sejong Institute Foundation at St. Mary's University and become a friend of Koreans. And I really hope your dreams come true. Thank you so much for listening and bearing with my horrible English. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think it was great speech, and which is not only informative, but also has a lot of insight shared together with a lot of wisdom. I really appreciate. Okay, so now it's time for Q&A, and then Seon Lee also help with the Q&A session. Maybe let me ask some question on behalf of my student, like a business major student. Let me ask in English first, and then in Korea if it is needed. So first question, you made a big decision, very brave decision to change your life. Okay, so it was really risk taking. What made you make that brave decision? It's not easy for everyone. Very difficult decision, right? Changing from entertainment industry to scholastic area. And the second question, you spent about 10 years. It was a long journey. I think most people would have given up if it take that long, undergraduate, master, PhD again. But you overcome all the difficulties. Okay, so what made you like never giving up your new dream? How you achieve that?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for questions. Yeah. Uh, I think 일단 짧게 한국어로 할게요.
예.
한국 사람들이 간혹 이제 그런 얘기를 하죠. 아, 쟤는 현실 감각이 없어. 제가 그런 사람인 것 같아요. 네. 그래서 만일 제가 그런 현실 감각이 있었다면 어쩌면 뭐 39살에 뭐 공부를 해야겠다. 뭐 이런 생각을 안 했을지도 모르죠.
Let me translate that part first. I think my weakness become my strength. So my weakness is, many of my friends said you are too ideal, too much dreaming. So because of that weakness, so I could make, unrealistic decision bravely without hesitation.
예. 그리고 이제 하나 더 말씀드리고 싶은 건요. 저는 제가 굉장히 행복하게 살고 있다고 생각하는데 그 이유 중 하나가 어렸을 때부터 제가 하고 싶은 걸 하면서 살아왔다는 거죠.
So I believe I'm enjoying very happy life because, ever since I was very young boy, I, had done whatever I want to do.
예. 예. 그리고 두 번째 이제 그 공부하는 게 쉽지는 않았지만은 역시 이제 제가 하고 싶었고 그걸 좋아서 했죠. 그래서 전념할 수 있었고 그 어려운 순간이 있었지만 조금 아까 임 교수님께서 말씀하신 대로 포기하지 않았다. 그래서 어쩌면 그 당시 제가 갖고 있던 꿈을 이루지 않았나 그렇게 생각합니다.
So, answer to the second question. First, because I try to do what really I like. So, following your instinction is very important. Secondly, I has never give up. Keep pursuing. That's why I could achieve my second dream in my life.
예. 사실은 frankly speaking, there were times that I really wanted to give up. Yeah, but I didn't. At that time, I thought many things. I just like to live somewhere out of my country. 사실은 그 박사 논문 작성할 때 2번인가 이런 때가 있었어요. 도망가고 싶다. I feel running away. 그렇지만 뭐 도망가지 않고 포기하지 않고 그게 그런 것 같아요. 되게 이제 사람들 보면 간혹 가다가 뭐 하다가 그만두는 경우가 있잖아요. 사실은 저도 어렸을 때 뭐 그런 경우 많이 했죠. 태권도도 하다가 검은띠 따고 딱 그만두고 또 저희 때는 이제 주판이 있었으니까요. 뭐 그런 것도 한 6개월 배우다가 또 그만두고 그만둔 게 많았는데 그만두지 않으면 할 수 있지 않나 그렇게 생각합니다.
So, as a matter of fact, while I was writing dissertation, many times I felt like, leaving toward another country because it was very difficult to do. But I never gave up. As you know, many people just stop what they used to do when they achieve a little bit. So, for example, my case, when I do taekwondo, when I got first black belt, I just stop. Okay. But if I think about what I did for my second career development, so I never give up. If you don't give up, you will achieve it. That's a lesson I got it from my experience. So let me now focus on next question with a text message. So it's from Joel Garcia. Did your career as a professional comedian help develop your passion for the Korean language and your eventual academic career?
어쩌면은 제가 젊었을 때 스탠드업 코미디언으로 활동한 게 지금 이제 제가 하고 있는 일하고 좀 관계가 없지 않나. 전혀 다른 일이 아닌가. 이렇게도 느낄 수 있고 판단할 수 있다고 생각을 합니다. 그런데 제가 젊었을 때 스탠드업 코미디언, 개그맨으로 활동했던 거를 포함해서 모든 저의 경험이 결국은 이제 지금의 저가 아닌가. 그래서 전혀 관계가 없는 게 아니다. 이렇게 생각을 합니다. 모든 것이 소중한 경험이다. 라고 생각을 하죠.
Okay, Jenna, would you try?
Many of you guys can think when I was a stand-up comedian versus now I'm doing a whole different job, but all the experiences made who I am now, and then all the experiences from my past are all important to me.
Thank you. So,
예, 고맙습니다. 예.
any question? Any more question? Anybody?
예, 스테픈. 예.
Yes. You said that the rise in the use of Hangul amongst the population, like from 1945 on. So, do you believe that it was a direct response to the wiping out of Korean culture from during the occupation of Japan, and so a desire to specifically do something that was Korean and bring back the Korean identity, and that's why it became more widespread and used during that time?
Yes, Jenna?
예. actually, 예. 그 일제의 식민 지배를 받았을 때, 그 일제가 한국어를 쓰지 못하게 했었죠. 그래서 그 당시에 이제 한국어는 위기였다. 사라질 수도 있는 언어였다. Please, Jenna.
During the Japanese colonial period, there was a really tough time because almost Korean was almost gone because of the Japanese colonial period.
If you are interested in this history, you can read my own books. 예. 그런데 해방이 됐죠. 사실 이제 한글은 그 당시에 문맹률이 이제 78%였는데 한글조차 모르는 사람들이 그렇게 많았다는 겁니다. 근데 이제 해방이 되면서 그 조선 사람들이 이제 자신들의 어떤 권리 이런 것을 이제 찾기 시작한 거죠. Jenna, please.
During the Japanese colonial period, there were 78% of illiterate people, but after Korea was freed, people started speaking Korean, and the literacy rate went up.
그리고 그 사실은 그 일제 식민 지배를 받던 시기도 그랬지만은 그 이전 시기도 사실 대중들은 교육을 받지 못했죠. 그런데 이제 해방이 되고 나서 이 대중들의 어떤 그 새로운 세상이 만들어지면서 교육열이 이제 폭발을 했다고 봅니다. 그때 이제 이 단일한 언어 한국어 그리고 아주 그 쉬운 그리고 좋은 이 글자 한글이 이제 힘을 발휘하기 시작했던 거죠.
Looking back at the colonial period, not many people were educated, but after Korea was freed, the educational rate went up, and that's when the language Korean really showed its own power.
특별히 한글에 대해서 조금 더 언급을 해주세요. 그 한글이 쉬운 문자였기 때문에 이 대중교육 하는 데 있어서 굉장히 유용한 그런 도구였고 그 한글로 인해서 지식을 습득하고 사람들이 이제 자신의 어떤 그 재능이랄까 이런 것을 이제 발휘할 수 있었다.
Since Korean was an easy language to learn, when it comes to educating people, it was a lot simpler. Therefore, a lot of people could show off their talents through learning Hangul.
Okay, so now let's take one last question if anybody has. So.
If there is no question among the students, is it okay if I ask you a quick question?
Yes.
네, 한국어로 먼저 질문을 하고 통역을 해서 제가 이야기를 하도록 하겠습니다. 네, 이름에서 보시다시피 저도 약간 80년대, 90년대 우리말 사랑하기 운동의 부산물이라고 할 수 있을 것 같은데요. 요즘에 언어를 보는 관점이 규범이라든가 아니면 정확한 사용, 올바른 사용의 측면도 있지만 원중들이 실제로 사용하는 것을 어떻게 반영하고 인정하고 이거를 기반으로 해서 어떻게 의사소통을 촉진할 수 있는지에 대한 관점도 좀 있는 것 같습니다. 그래서 언어가 아무래도 그 문자와 달리 한 사람이 만들 수 없는 것, 그리고 사회에서 뭐 바뀌고 사용되는 그런 것이라는 측면에서 언어를 가르치는 입장에서 어느 정도까지를 꼭 규범으로 알려주어야 하는 것인지 아니면 어느 정도의 자유로운 사용을 허가를 해야 하는 것인지 그리고 언어를 연구하는 입장에서 어느 정도의 외래 언어 외국어를 차용하는 것을 용인을 해야 하는 부분인지 그리고 어느 정도 선까지를 또 의사소통이 가능하게 또 순화를 해야 하는 부분인지에 대해서 요즘 사회가 복잡해지면서 좀 문제가 다르게 해석이 될 수 있을 것 같아서 이 지점에서 선생님께서 가지고 있는 관점을 조금 나누어 주실 수 있을지 여쭤보고 싶습니다. So my question is, there is a different perspective seeing a language. So it can be either as a norm that we should keep and use it correctly, and there is other part that it is something that people use and naturally emerged, so that we should embrace the actual usage of the language by the commoners. So in that perspective, as a language instructor and wannabe linguist, I just asked him if how should I set my perspective to fix the language or purify the language or embrace the language as it is.
네, 아주 좋은 질문을 해주셨는데요. 또 동시에 또 어려운 질문이어서 예, 잘 대답을 해야 될 것 같은데 예. 저는 솔직히 규범을 좀 중시하는 사람입니다. 그래서 우리가 사회에 여러 가지 규범이 있는데 언어 규범도 역시 중요하다. 그리고 이제 규범이라는 것은 그것을 지키고 따를 때 가치가 있는 거고 교통 규범 같은 것은 그걸 지킬 때 안전한 거죠. 안전하게 차를 몰 수 있고 안전하게 길을 건널 수 있고 그래서 마찬가지로 이 언어 규범도 우리가 좀 지키고 따를 때 정확한 소통 그리고 안전한 소통이 이루어진다. 그래서 우리가 굉장히 그 편한 그런 언어 생활을 할 수 있다고 생각을 하고요. 다만 이제 그 비규범적인 어떤 언어 사용 이것을 뭐 100% 안 된다. 그런 생각을 하는 사람은 아닙니다. 언어는 이게 움직이는 거고 꿈틀거리는 거고 살아있는 거고 변화하는 거기 때문에 얼마든지 이제 그 마음을 열고 그런 것을 받아들이기도 하고 또는 만들어가는 뭐 언어는 굉장히 그 자체로 창의적인 거잖아요. 그런 것이 필요하다고 생각을 합니다. 직접
네.
통역을 해주시죠.
네,
예.
감사합니다. 네, 말씀해 주신 것처럼 아무래도 실제 사용에 더 주의를 기울여서 이것이 규범에 어떻게 반영될 수 있는지를 주의를 해야 할 것 같다는 생각이 들었습니다.
네. 아니, 제가 아까 대답한 거를 우리
네,
다른 분들이
통역하도록 네,
네네.
하겠습니다.
예.
So yeah, personally, I think that norm is important as it keeps the society as a community, and that can be also applied to the language. However, it doesn't mean that for example, there is a traffic regulation, and only when we keep it, it is possible for us to drive safe and convenient. Just like that, we only gotta keep the norms of the language to communicate in a safe and accurate way. However, it doesn't mean that we should close down all the possibility of the abnormal usage of language, as language is something changing and something that is creative as on its own. So we got a balance in between the norm and the actual usage to to use the language to promote the communication among the society of the language society.
Thank you. Okay, so thank you very much. I think we had a great event, and then Professor Chung, any last comment you wanna make? 교수님 마지막으로 하신 말씀 혹시?
네, 예. 오늘 굉장히 떨렸어요. 예. 그런데 미리 제가 그래도 제 노트를 준비를 해서 제가 좀 이렇게 하고 싶은 얘기 이런 거는 좀 전달이 가능하지 않았나 그렇게 생각을 하고요. 오늘 이제 참석자들 중에 미국 학생들이 꽤 많은데요. 먼저 감사의 말씀을 드립니다. 저는 어렸을 때 그 팝송만 듣고 살았습니다. 그만큼 그 미국 노래를 좋아하고 미국 문화를 동경했었죠. 그래서 요즘처럼 뭐 K-팝, 뭐 K-컬처 이런 거는 상상도 못했었는데 아까 말씀드린 것처럼 한국어, 한글의 힘으로 또 한국 사람들이 열심히 해요. 또 교육열이 아주 강하고 그런 덕분에 이렇게 오지 않았나. 그래서 세계 사람들의 어떤 관심 또는 주목을 받게 되지 않았나. 그렇게 생각을 하는데요. 그런 점에서 이렇게 한국어라든가 또 한국에 대한 뭐 어떤 것 이런 것에 관심을 갖고 특히 세종학당에서 공부를 하고 계신 데 대해서 진심으로 감사의 말씀을 드리고요. 여러분 배우고 싶은 거 좋은 선생님들 많이 계시니까 마음껏 배우시고 여러분의 꿈을 이루시고 시간이 되면 한국에 꼭 놀러 오십시오. 네. 제가
서요?
먹방까지는 아니더라도 예. 맛있는 한국 음식을 대접하겠습니다.
Okay, Sienna?
I was very nervous today, but since I prepared notes already, I could deliver what I wanted to say. And there are lots of Americans who participated today. And I wanted to thank you guys since I grew up listening to pop songs. I was exposed to American culture, but nowadays, like K-pop, Korean cultures are really popular. So thanks for loving Korean culture. And I hope you guys get to learn more about the Korean culture since there are lots of great professors and teachers at St. Mary's University. And when you guys have time in the future, please come visit Korea and I'll
트레이트?
buy you.
Okay.
그리고 예, 한 가지 더 또 거기 있는 한국 학생들 있잖아요. 예, 건강하게 공부 잘 하시기 바랍니다.